There you go, this is big, because my trap just killed the nightmare werewolf. And I might have saved the game right here. Hello, and welcome to the tournament video. Today I'm going to go over the 3 tournament games that I played. Because yes, there was an official Wolvesville tournament last week. And I played in it. It's also the reason why I didn't upload a video last weekend. And as you can see, I'm gonna be Shadow Wolf in the first game. We found the Corruptor here and I'm gonna make a bad play in the beginning already. As you see, we are discussing the strategies. People are asking how to play as werewolf. 7 says they will be detective. And I'm gonna claim doctor. Counter-claiming doctor is my strategy here. However, since we found the Corruptor, we have no good kill. We're gonna go random on the headhunter. And here we go, we have 2 detectives, of course. 7 claim detective and 16 is the real detective. 11 claims that Aura's here and says 14 is good, and 14 also claims Aura's here. So according to the real detective, 6 equals 10. And we know they are not werewolf, that means that 6 and 10 are both a villager. We could kill them next night, but we can also just do something else, whatever. And 8 claims Aura's here, and what I should have done here instead of claiming Doctor is claiming Aura's here as well, maybe. And confirming 8 as good. So that we got 2 couples. And now, since I'm the only Doctor claim, I'm gonna be an easy target for the Corruptor, and you will see that really soon. Maybe something you don't see yet, but it's actually happening. 12 is being corrupted right now. And as you can see, 1 is gonna water. 1 watered 8, but 8 is proven real, or well, so to some extent real, not a werewolf at least. And 1 is dead, meaning 2 is good if we were to believe 7's info, but 7 of course isn't real. Although I can say, as you can also figure out by now, 2 is good because it's not a solo roll, because the solos are 8 and 13, and 2 is also not a werewolf. As you see here, 12 died because of the Corruptor. You don't have a really strong start here. Headhunter dead, Wolf Trickster dead, and Wolf Trickster is of course corrupted. Someone checked the detective sadly, which is kind of a waste. Currently we need to know what 6, 10 and 15 are foremost. 4 is unknown, 4 is probably a good unknown. And another priest died, we killed the priest, meaning there's an RV less. And we have more information, as you can see right here as well. I am now corrupted, meaning the Corruptor is on a real streak here with 2 corruptions. 11 says 9 is evil, 9 is Wolfseer, doesn't really counterclaim sadly. Now there's a lot of info as well, that 6 claims Sheriff, 6 is still on the same team as 10, and 10 is on the same team as 11, and 6 and 10 is not on the same team as 4, but that's fake info, because that's from 7. 7 is now also a Sheriff suspect from 6, along with 8, and of course actually both are evil, but 7 is the one who killed. So this is really bad, because 9 is exposed and doesn't counterclaim, 7 is on the suspect list. I am being corrupted as the Shadow Wolf. I cannot do anything, unfortunately, no use of abilities, and in case you don't know how the score works for this tournament, actually you get points based on how much you push. If you win, if you don't game throw, well actually you get minus points if you do game throw, and also if you use your ability correctly, and I don't. Also the Wolf Trickster didn't. Here we go, 11 actually somehow gets shot, even though they're kind of confirmed good. I am now dead as well. Meaning 15 is good. 15 is actually the real dog, and they're gonna claim next day. Right now it looks like we're gonna lose this. 7 and 9 still live, but they are both pretty much exposed. Medium is now gonna revive. Or not. The medium is not reviving anyone. And now the new info is 9 is dead immediately because the gunner shoots them. And the real detective says 7 is not 15 and 15 is Doctor. Meaning 7 is now exposed. And this is how we are pretty much losing the first game. If you didn't figure that out yet, 10 is the jailer here. The RVs are 3, 6 and one of the Aura's ears. I should have not been a doctor claim but an aura seer claim and confirming 8 as good, because that would mean that 8 would not have corrupted me, because they would know that I'm not a real aura seer, because to an aura seer a corruptor appears as unknown. So if I said 8 good, I might have lived here and might have been able to use my ability. Now you see it's gonna be pretty dry end here. Corruptor dies, and that's because of the jailer. And that's how we lose our first game. Very bad game. This is actually a game in which I scored only 5 points, which is the minimal pretty much. You score lower if you game throw. Do you want to financially support me without needing to pay extra? Go to settings, click on creator boost, and then fill in code hypo and press on save. And there you go, it says you are boosting the creator hypostein. Thank you for boosting. Now we go into game 2, in which I'm gonna be the corruptor. I was not really hyped to play with this, because I am very stressed if I'm solo, and it's difficult to play solo, especially in a competitive sphere as we have here. What I'm gonna do to increase my chance of winning is I'm gonna claim Sheriff in this game. Same setup as last time, by the way, so Sheriff is gonna be an RV. And in case I didn't tell yet, there are a lot of RV possibilities you would think. However, roll cards are disabled, the mayor is disabled, the loudmouth is disabled, and the witch is disabled. So there's only 8 possible RVs, namely the aura seer, the bodyguard, the doctor, the sheriff, the red lady, the beast hunter. I'm thinking of what 8 they are all. Flower child, and there is one more. And then here you go, we have a lot of info. I am sheriff, claiming sheriff, at least 5 claim sheriff, 10 claim sheriff. The detective died, and I corrupted 15. We don't know what 15 is yet. Hopefully there is something really important. 1 and 2 claim doctor both. And 6 claims aura seer, but is also confirmed evil by 8. 3 is now also doctor, by the way. And the priest is trying to water 6, meaning that 6 is good and 8 is not an aura seer. 8 gets shot by the gunner and takes 6 with them, meaning we have already a lot of damage done by the Junior Werewolf. Really nice for us. At the moment there are 3 sheriffs, 3 doctors. This is of course not really realistic at all. And 15 is being corrupted and goes down right here. And now I don't know for sure who I want to corrupt, because I don't want to corrupt 5 or 10, they're scapegoats. I'm not so sure about 1, 2 and 3 either. I think one of them is werewolf, so what I'm gonna do, I think that at the moment I also think that the gunner is protected. So what I'm gonna do is corrupt one of the unclaimed people, because I have a high suspicion they are jailer or medium. Or werewolf, which is actually gonna be the case. 12 is actually gonna be werewolf. 4 is coming back by the medium and 14 is medium. That means that 14 is going to be my next target, because they're unlikely to be protected. And it's a confirmed good roll. 13 claims Flower Child at this stage. Very suspicious, because the Flower Child is an RV that you should claim on day 1 for sure. And 11 claims Bodyguard. Oh yeah, speaking of that RV that I forgot, that's Priest of course. 10 is reclaiming Jailer, so that means we have only 2 sheriffs now. In terms of RVs, of course, as you can see right here on the screen, Bodyguard is RV, Flower Child is RV, 2 sheriffs both RV, and 3 doctors, of which 2 would be RV. But the real doctor goes down right here, meaning that there are currently like 5 or 6 RV claims out there, which is not really realistic at all. 2 is getting voted out here. And 2 is making a clue on 1 being Corruptor. Which is not the case, because I'm Corruptor, of course. Good thing for us is that the doctor actually got shot, meaning that the gunner has no more bullets. And 12 is gone. 12 sadly is a werewolf. You will see that at the end of this game as well. Now I'm checking the chat to see who I gotta kill. And I decide to go for 14 here. Although 10 would be a safe bet as well, but I'm kind of scared that Mickey might be real doctor. Mickey is 1. And that he would be protecting 10, or that the bodyguard would be protecting 10. Gunner goes down by werewolves, which is a good kill I guess, but not very useful. It's just a confirmed roll. Bodyguard is now confirmed good, which means that there is pretty much no more scapegoat. And I said 10 or 11 killed 16, which is my big mistake here, because 10 is jailer and 11 is confirmed good. And that means that I am lying. And that the village knows that right now. There's still a lot of evil rolls actually alive. There's at least a fool and 1 werewolf. Sadly I cannot really coordinate with the werewolf and the fool who have vote here. But I have a high suspicion that we are playing with good players. And that we should be killing the jailer here, because the jailer is the most powerful role we have to face at the moment. It still has a bullet so far I know. And as you can see, the village could not decide who to lynch, meaning that we did our work. The Shadow Wolf did an amazing job here. Actually, I don't think they got rewarded a point for that play. Now the fool is sadly killed. That means that there is no more scapegoat there, no more help. But we still have at least 1 werewolf in the Shadow Wolf. And of course, in hindsight, I know that 12 is also a werewolf, so it's just 1 werewolf. And I'm gonna corrupt the jailer here, because the jailer has a lot of threat. 5 is killed. That leaves us, since 11 is bodyguard, that 13 is Shadow Wolf. And now we are in a very interesting situation. Detective just checked me with 11, but that doesn't matter anymore. Everyone knows right now that 7, it is me, and 13 are left. At this stage, that means we're still not there. If I die, then the jailer is going to be uncorrupted, and that means that 13 loses with me. However, if we tie the vote, then 10 is dead, and we get a 2v2 into the night as well, and we can kill someone, of course. So now it's going to go to the voting phase, and it seems like everyone is pushing me. 13 as well, and here you see it. This is the biggest misplay maybe that you will see in this video here, and whoever has done this, aka 13, pretty much knows it, because I have haunted 13 with this bad misplay. But as you can see, 13, the Shadow Wolf, is voting me, meaning that I die, the jailer stays alive in that case, and then it's gonna be a 3 versus 1, and the chat goes crazy. First of all, they think they are happy with this, of course the village, and then some people are complaining about 13, the werewolves through. This is a very sad moment, especially because this cost me a lot of points. I could have won as Corruptor, you get 2 points for that, and I would have gotten more points probably with a Corruptor win even than that. I could have gotten 8 points for this game, but in the end I only got 6 points. And on top of that, 13 also really choked for the werewolves. 13 could have won as well. I don't know why, but 13 even says, "Look, I love your content, 7, but no way, I'm trusting that." But I think they realized maybe a bit too late that they have made a huge mistake here. And I publicly actually claimed Corruptor pretty much in this game. At some point I just was exposed. And then you might as well claim Corruptor. People tend to actually give solos the win over werewolves. And as you can see, something crazy happens here as well. 10 is lagging, cannot vote. And 13 actually decides to pull back his vote because of sportsmanship. And there's gonna be huge criticism on that as well. It's also respectful, and I have to say I lean towards the respectful side as well. Though there are people who have complained about this move here. 13 could actually have won this game because 10 lagged.
12 seconds later.
And now we're going to the third game, the last game of the tournament. I have to redeem myself at this point, but I'm actually pretty much gone anyways because I've lost my first 2 games. I'm Beast Hunter this game, which is not ideal. That means I'm an RRV. I'm gonna claim as soon as possible as well. I claim Good Unknown because that leaves somewhat in the air if I can be Forger, Witch, Medium, Marksman. Or in this case Beast Hunter, but later on when there's a lot of RV claims, and that's of course what you expect, I'm gonna claim RV anyways, and people can deduce from that I am gonna be Beast Hunter here, that I basically claim Beast Hunter. You're gonna see that in the chat as well. We have 2 sharers at the moment as well, 2 analysts, which is a big problem. A lot of people claimed unknown, or a lot of people confirmed unknown. 10 Red Lady, and 11 claims RV. Sadly 6 is Forger and died. 15 claims Marksman. Pretty much everyone is checked or claimed at this stage. But yeah, of course, one of the analysts is fake, and that takes a lot of attention from this town here. We are gonna go for 13, because they're confirmed evil. 13 is evil by 16, and we'll see what happens here with this 13. 13 actually is Wolf Trickster, which is really sad, because we don't know what they really are in that case, because they could have been an actual Wolf Trickster, but they can also be an actual good player. Now this night I'm gonna move my trap from 16, because I don't trust the analyst at the moment. I'm gonna move it to 1, because I trust 1 at the moment, but in the end 1 is actually not really trustworthy at all. And here you go, a lot of information again, and the analysts counterclaim each other with their Nightmare. 4 is Aura Seer and says 5 is good, and 9 is also good. There's a lot of info, as always, because usually these games on a high level are just info storms, and you have to find out what informers are real and what are fake, and that's also the fun of Wolvesville, in my opinion. Sadly, it doesn't happen that often in a game more like Sandbox, but yeah, that's why I like custom games, because in my custom games there's often a lot of info storms, like in ranked as well. I'm actually not even sure about ranked nowadays. At least that's how it used to be. People are pushing 15 to shoot now as well. But there's also people pushing against 15 to shoot. And now we are voting for 3. And 3 is sadly the real analyst. And that means that 16 is fake. 16 gets killed and is a Wolf Trickster. Meaning that 13 is actually a good role. And in this case, actually the bodyguard. The witch killed the Wolf Trickster. I'm gonna move my trap now to Marksman, because 15 is the only Marksman claim. And I do trust 15 here. Another bodyguard went down, as you can see, so we have 2 bodyguards in this game. A Beast Hunter, and only 1 RV is left. Which is then either the Aura Seer or the Red Lady. Since 3 is good, we can now assume everything. Since 3 is good, we know all the info from 3 is at least good. There's no Wolf Shaman in the game either, so there's no chance that there's anyone enchanted. 4 is a suspect of the Sheriff, along with 11, and I kind of suspect both of them as well, because they're both claiming an RV to some extent. And Mickey says they think that 13 was Werewolf Fan or Arso, which would leave more room for RVs, because then 13 would not be bodyguard, but actually 13 is going to be bodyguard. Now we're going to vote 8, because 8 is unknown, and they don't claim, and we know they're not medium, and they're not witch and not marksman, so 8 is actually arsonist. This is huge, but there are still 4 werewolves in the game if you count the sorcerer and the werewolf fan, along with the berserk and the nightmare werewolf, which is still going to be a problem perhaps. Now we have a trap on 15, of course. 14 is witch. So at the moment 10, 11 or 4, one of them is definitely fake, and we also know that one of the sheriffs is fake, but 2 is confirmed good, so that would mean that 1 is fake. And Analyst goes down. Sadly, because there's no protection anymore. Apparently the witch didn't have protection either, or the witch didn't dare to protect with the berserk in the game. We don't have good information that much. 10 is confirming a lot of people, which is at some point getting suspicious. Because if a red lady doesn't visit evil players and doesn't die, that usually suggests that the red lady isn't really a red lady, but just a werewolf or any other bad roll that's not a red lady. Now they're asking 15 who the mark is on. At the moment of this game, I'm not very busy even with who is a fake RV. I'm more busy with trying to confirm myself because I need to be confirmed. I'm scapegoat and it's heavily punishing if you get mislynched by the village, which you don't want to happen, of course. Now we're voting 2, another mistake because 2 is actually the sheriff. And Mick is now heavily pushing against shooting from 15. Saying that they have to mark 9 or 10. Mickey is taking a lot of risk because, as you can see here, 2 was real and that means that 1 is fake. And 1 is a werewolf. And 1 is pushing the marksman to not shoot one of the players. I'm curious to see what actually is gonna happen. If the marksman is gonna listen to Mickey, who is a werewolf in this case. Can you imagine that I even trapped Mickey in the second night with that info? And there you go, this is big, because my trap just killed the nightmare werewolf. And that is really good, because that makes me confirmed good. And I might have saved the game right here. This is the best play I've had in this entire tournament. But it's also a mistake, of course, of the Nightmare Werewolf to actually go for Marksman. Marksman is a slow roll as well. 14 is Witch. This means that 1 is... And since 10 is Red Lady, I'm Beast Hunter and there are 2 bodyguards. 11, of course, is a fake one. This has to mean that 4 is not real aura. That doesn't mean that 5 is then good either. 1 is definitely fake though, and since this is a game with 5 werewolves and an arsonist, there is no fool or headhunter, so 1 is a safe lynch, and I push 1 here because 1 is a safe lynch, and we should be getting 1 here, but somehow people will actually vote 15, and that is namely 1, 5, 5 was voting, but 14 is also voting, and 4, the 4 is of course not a real aura seer, that's something we know at this stage. But 14 is voting 15, and this is gonna be problematic later on in the game. Luckily the Berserk dies right now, that means no more manipulation from Mickey. And that can be annoying because Mickey is a pretty loud player, and actually he even won this tournament. So right now the info from 4 is actually worth nothing. We only know that I'm good, that 14 is good, that 15 is good, and that 9 is good. So pretty much we are sure that 4 and 5 are fake. Because there are still 2 evils, namely the werewolf fan and the sorcerer, and I'm dead now because I have just triggered my trap. I'm confirmed good anyways, and there is no risk in attacking me. So this is the most sensible move for the werewolves. And now this is really bad because 15 and 14 are pushing each other. If you notice the name, 15 is Tax Evasion 38. That is the same guy as last game. That is the guy who was the Shadow Wolf in that game. So I've had 2 games with him and he choked in both games. 14 just makes clear that they are the only witch claim, which is true. They have never been counter-claimed. At 16, who is werewolf, is even saying that 4 or 5 is not even counter-claiming, which makes it even more logical that 14 is a good player, but somehow they get it in their mind to vote 14, especially not use this from 15. Also 9 votes 14, even the only player who doesn't vote 14 except for 14 themselves is 5, but 5 actually is bad. And the witch dies here. 9 is medium, by the way. And now the werewolves win as soon as the werewolf fan is turned by the sorcerer. But even if they don't turn the werewolf fan, it doesn't even matter because they are gonna be able to kill the marksman, for example, and then the werewolf fan is gonna support the sorcerer next day at daytime. There you go. The werewolf fan is turned. 5 was werewolf fan, 4 was sorcerer. 4 played well as aura seer. Here it was a massive choke. And as you can see, 12 and 13 were indeed bodyguard both. But yeah, that was the tournament. I hope you enjoyed this very long video. A little bit different than usual, of course. Also, let me know if you like the way that I color schemed the roles. And hopefully you enjoy the tournament so much that you are willing to join TCL, which is my tournament. And that starts in April. Bye bye. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm sure you will also love this one right here. So go click on it and tell them you came from this video. You can also subscribe and turn on the bell to never miss any new Wolvesville video anymore. Trust me, they only get better. I will then see you later and don't be a traitor. Goodbye.